There's a link in the schedule to Replit. Some of you guys might have used this before. I think it's a pretty common editor. I think actually a lot of like high school programs use it more than college programs, but I've seen it. I've seen it when I've done some trainings for high school teachers. But anyway, I'll put this in the chat. It's actually a pretty good editor. I don't really use it that much, but it looks a lot different than the last time I saw it, and it seems like they've added a lot of cool features. So I think it's worth checking out. Um, anyway, I made a little account. If you've never used it before, when you open it up, you'll kind of see something like this, and you can just go ahead to do sign up. And it's kind of similar to a lot of the other products like P5 and um, Glitch and other online editors and online services where you can either sign up using your username and account, or you can sign up using an existing account, like you can connect your Google or your GitHub. If you do have a GitHub, connecting your GitHub is probably a good idea because you can publish to GitHub. I may go over that at some point, but we may not really need to do that. But anyway, you can create an account here. I'll give you guys a minute to do that after I go over it. Once you have an account, it's going to look something like this. You can see I have my ONBMCC account. They kind of made this little image for me. And it kind of has a lot of the same stuff that you might see in other places. There's a big plus button here just to start a new project. So that's one easy way to get started. There's also some templates if you look at the menu here for different types of languages. So if you're writing Python, you could do some Python. If you want to do something in Node.js, they have all these different templates. And we'll probably use the HTML, CSS one here, or we can just get started from scratch. And yeah, they have things kind of like categorized in different ways. Let's see if they have one. I wonder if actually if I search for tone, if they have a built-in template. No. Okay. Maybe they have a P5. Yeah, they have a P5 template, so that's cool. Maybe they have a Three.js one. Yeah, they have a Three.js one. So that's actually kind of cool. You can find different getting started templates. This probably has a library built into it, so we wouldn't have to go through all the finding the files and doing all that stuff. Um, there's a folder with projects that you've made. Um, let's see. You can create folders in here. Oh, I guess that mine is unnamed. It's in this unnamed folder. This one that I was playing with earlier. So you can make different replits. You can publish one. The one big difference between Replit and Glitch is Replit is more geared towards like real-time collaboration. So you can actually add people to a project that you're working on, and you can write code at the same time, which is kind of cool. I don't know if we'll actually use that. I guess you guys could add me onto a project if you want me to look at it or something like that. But other than that, it's pretty similar. This cycles thing is about pricing. I don't think we'll have to deal with that. I think the free version should get us far enough that we won't run into any kind of issues. It gives us unlimited projects, which is good. Free storage up to 500 megabytes, which I think should be plenty. 500 megabytes of memory. This is computers that will be running the project, and it does actually have this multiplayer collaboration. So that's pretty cool for the free standard. So I don't think we're going to have any issues there. I haven't really looked a lot into the community, but it's kind of cool. You can publish stuff and see what other people are working on. They have links to a bunch of different tutorials, so this would be a cool way to find some other projects. Um, and yeah, there's some more stuff in here, some different curriculum. So that's kind of cool. So there's a lot of stuff in here. We're just going to kind of create a project. We can click on the plus button here. We can click create here, and then we can build a template. For our template, we're still working with the web. Tone.js is a web library, so we're just going to use this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript template, and then we're just going to click create Replit. It also has a button to import from GitHub, so if you have stuff on your GitHub that you want to edit on here, you could use that, which is a nice feature. So let's create a Replit. And so you can see the layout is pretty similar to Glitch. There's a few differences, like it has the menu kind of over here on the left versus down at the bottom. Here's our main editor here, and then we have a web view here. Um, which actually doesn't look too bad. I usually don't like these like built-in web views on these sites, but this one is pretty good. I don't know how they get it to look. For some reason, it looks like it's like got more space or something like that. But you can see it's just a link here. So if I copy this link and take it to its own tab, we can actually view the project in full screen on its own website. So it is hosted somewhere. You can send this to people and we can look at the elements and look at the console and do all that stuff here. So I'll usually probably look at it here just so I can see if there's stuff happening in the console and things like that. We can look at the console down here, but then you're starting to kind of make things kind of cramped. But that is also an option as well. There's like this elements view, which is kind of nice. There's some other stuff that we don't really need to worry about for now, but that's pretty nice. And then they actually have like a shell here. So that's pretty cool. I kind of gave up on doing Git stuff after we realized that Glitch was doing all these extra Git commits, but the shell here is actually kind of like a look into the file system that this project is hosted on. So I won't go into this a ton today, but just to uh, take a look at what's in here, if I type in ls, you can actually see all the files that are in here. So it's pretty simple. There's just the index page, there's our script page, and it's nice we can actually click on these and it opens them. And this is just a kind of settings page for Replit. And then if we type in pwd, we can see where we are. So we're in our home folder. We're in this runner section. So that's, I guess, like live projects. And then they kind of gave this project like a random name. So that's pretty cool. We might look at that a little bit later. I think it does have Git. Let's do a Git init and see if that works. Yeah. So we could actually do some Git stuff on here. Um, Maybe we'll do that next week or something. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. So then over here in the left menu, we have our files. So we have this index page. This is the default index page. It's got some, stuff built into it. We can edit these in a second. It's got a script for us, so we can write some code, and then it's got some basic styles. So it's pretty simple. We can add files and add folders, which is really nice, and we can download the project and do a whole bunch of other stuff here. There's a few other things that I might go into later here. We can actually open up version control, and this is a visual representation of Git, so there's stuff we could do here that would be pretty useful. There's packages, which is really nice. This is kind of like adding Sublime packages or VS Code packages. For example, like Emmet is a really popular HTML package. We could go in here and add this in. And I don't know if you guys have used Emmet before, but it's really nice for writing HTML. Like, for example, if I wanted to start from scratch, I could delete all this HTML and then do HTML:5 and hit tab. And that's an Emmet thing. It'll generate this new HTML for me. So that's pretty convenient. So we might use some other packages. And let's see, we're going to ignore the rest of this stuff. There are some settings. I'm going to turn my font size large, so it'll be easier for you guys to read. And we can change the layout, which is cool. Let's see if there's anything else. We can change the indent type, indent size. So there's actually a lot of cool features here. There's different keyboard shortcuts. So Emacs is a popular editor, as well as Vim, which have their own keyboard shortcuts. I'm not going to go into that, but it's kind of cool. Um, so yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here that's pretty useful. So we may talk about more of that stuff later, but for now, we can just get started with our project. Um, so yeah, I'm going to stop here. I'll make this kind of like a separate video, and we'll pick back up again with adding tone into a Replit project. Actually, let me name this project first because I haven't changed the default name. So let's say this is our intro to tone.js. And we can choose public or private. I don't know what this means, power up, but we don't have to worry about that. And yeah, let's hit enter. Oh, and then the other thing that you guys might want to do, let me go back. So Replit doesn't have that like button to remix, but it has its own version of that, which is fork. So you can fork a project. That's the same thing as the glitch remix button. So if you open, like if I send this link, let me actually do that. So I'll put this link in the voice chat. And you can do the same thing that you did with Glitch. If you click on this and then you click over here and click fork, once you have an account, you'll be able to create a copy of the project on your own account. So then you can add your own code and make changes and do different stuff. And actually, a fork is cool because you can actually pull old changes or new changes from my project into your project. So, excuse me, we might go over that at some point as well. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I'll give you guys a second to get a Replit account set up, and once we're ready, we'll move on to adding in tone.js.